Pisces, welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. My name's Annie. We are going to read your tarot cards. This will be a general message for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Please come into this reading with an open heart, an open mind, and a desire to better yourself. Highly encourage you to only take away messages that resonate with you, that motivate you, empower you, inspire you. If you are not feeling that way, that's totally fine. Feel free to check back next week. Assume the messages are going out to someone else, and they just may resonate for you at a later date too. So be open to that as well. That's my spiel. Let's get you some messages, Pisces. You're accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. Okay. This one kind of wants to be seen, I can tell. Interesting. All right. Alright, so Page of Swords, Chariot, Two of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man. They came out in that order. You may be researching some sort of trip or some sort of travel opportunity. You may be checking out a plot of land or real estate. If you're growing your business, you may be looking at new office space or areas to expand your territory. If that's not physical, in terms of like land and space, it may actually be a ways to expand your mind or your knowledge base. You know, Page of Students is very indicative of like children or students. So if you are the student in some sort of arena in your life, you may be actively pursuing some sort of degree that will take you places in the future. You may also have a child who's graduating or moving to college or something of the sort. You may be increasing your knowledge base. In order to give you a more advantageous position. I almost see it as like to smoke the competition or to zoom ahead. I know this is kind of like a silly metaphor, but I'm just going to share it because it might mean something to someone out there. I almost see this as like race car drivers, and like by obtaining that extra piece of information or that extra credit, that extra degree, and by extra credit I mean like accreditation at like a school or something, or again, a piece of knowledge, or just arming yourself with more information. It's almost like as the race car driver, that's where you like kick it into high gear and you zoom ahead of the rest. Knowledge is power this week for you, Pisces. I really, really like that. And so let me see here. But there's a reason why you're not moving forward with it. It might be, can you afford it? It might be an issue of money. And I think you're being asked to make this decision in your own time. I don't necessarily think there's a reason to rush the process, even though I think there's a part of you that absolutely wants to rush ahead or steam ahead. If this resonates in terms of, okay, well, I already got the degree and I thought that was my ticket to the big show, or, you know, that was my ticket in to zoom ahead or, you know, get a lot of business or attract attention or eyes or publicity, and you're like, well, why didn't it happen? It's unfolding slowly. It's a slow process to mature, is what I'm hearing. For others of you, if you haven't yet dived into this sort of rabbit hole of knowledge or information, whatever you're trying to acquire, I see you dancing around it and not knowing when is the proper timeline, or juggling multiple issues. I think it's like a larger situation where by doing one thing, it impacts another, and maybe that's another person, maybe that impacts your schedule, maybe it impacts your child, you know, something like that. I'm almost getting this metaphor too of like stay together for the kids. Is that really right? Are you too worried that by you moving ahead and forging your own sort of independence in your career or away from an ex or a spouse, I almost see you, well, is it going to add too much stress to the kid's life? And obviously, you know, mama bear, papa bear, I get it. You want to be fiercely protective of your kid, but you also have to do what's right for you. You know, put on your own oxygen mask before you help your child. I see that being an issue here too. So if you're, I don't know, you may be juggling responsibilities, and say you are a single parent and you're wanting to go back and get some degree, and you're like, well, what about childcare? What about this? I think what this is saying to those out there is that more information is going to be revealed to you, and the more you sort of immerse yourself in this idea and spend time with it in a more meditative state. Remove the worries and anxieties just for a moment, which I'm sure are very real, but more or less it's like you're being asked to get to the core of the matter. But by doing this thing for yourself, won't the impact be really beautiful and sort of spread to others in your life? So maybe you're going to have to hire a babysitter. Maybe you're going to have to ask a sibling to help watch your kid, or whatever this is. Like, I think you're being asked to make adjustments accordingly. Because whatever this big journey or expedition or mission that you're about to undertake or go on, it's going to be transformational for you. And it might be slightly out of your comfort zone. It might be out of your, quite literally your territory, your zone, your usual boundaries. But I think there's something really great about this expansion that could really transform and change parts of your life that are already complicated. Because I think there's things in your life that you already are juggling. And maybe by embarking on this new journey, it maybe doesn't make it easier initially, but that's what I mean. I think over time, whatever this project is, it is going to lessen your responsibility or the burden of having to do everything yourself. Maybe this week you're just being asked to ask for help, you know? Sometimes it really is as simple as that, of not being so headstrong where you feel like you have to do everything on your own, and if you don't, it makes you look bad. It's really not about that. That may be sort of like the more shadow side of the Jupiter energy coming through. Pisces, ancient ruler is Jupiter. Jupiter is kind of like bigger and more and almost, and I'm not saying this is you, but in a lower vibe, almost like that sort of God complex of I can do anything and I got this and I'm not going to ask for help because I am the helper. Right? And it probably comes from a very good place of wanting to help everyone in your life, but who's helping you, right? So it's balance. It really is. The juggler, the balance. He can do this on his own, but if it's just a matter of asking someone else for help, well, that may free him up to actually give him like a chance to breathe, to put more energy into his creative life or his spiritual endeavors or something that I feel like this is impeding you from doing this, and this is a Pisces card. This is like your natural state of needing to immerse yourself in, again, growth, expansion, Jupiter, but also Neptune energy too, to go after your dreams, right? The Hangman, he makes the upside down 4, so there is something here about maybe not necessarily feeling confident or comfortable to leave the comfort zone or what you consider the safety zone, or at minimum, even if it's not comfortable, what is familiar. I think you have to, what is the word? You have to risk a little something to gain something. The Hangman says, essentially, because it leads into the Death card, what are you willing to sacrifice in order to allow yourself into this next chapter of your life? Because you may have to sacrifice something. And no, I don't mean like an animal, right? Sacrifice the cat. No. You may have to sacrifice something or let something go or allow yourself to put something on the back burner because you're choosing to prioritize something else, Pisces. This may involve another Pisces. This may involve a Cancer. This may involve something with childcare too. Maybe you're asking your ex to step up and take the kids for an extra week because you need to focus on, studying for that online test or whatever it is. Don't be afraid to ask for help and prioritize things that would grant you more freedom in the future. Sometimes you kind of have to grin and bear it if you know that it's going to be worth it in the end. Let's pull you a butterfly card. I'm curious to see how this all connects. You may have a relative coming to visit you, and it might be a relative who actually, two things. They may freely and openly volunteer to take a little burden or stress off your plate, and you might not even have to ask. I mean, I think you should, but there might just be someone who shows up, and I'm almost getting like they stay with you for a few days or for a few weeks, and I don't think that's a surprise per se. Even if it wasn't something you would ask them, like you may have, again, agreed to like take them in for a couple weeks during a, maybe they're moving and there's like that transitional, we can't get into the place until this date. They may actually take a little bit of a load off your plate and you're like, oh my God, this is a game changer, to the point where you're like, maybe I need to make this something more consistent so that it gives me some time and space and, breathing time to do this other thing that I'm really needing to prioritize. Priorities are big this week. What do you prioritize? And by not prioritizing things that are of value to you, what are the consequences of that? That you're never going to get that degree, that you're never going to open that or launch that website, that you're never going to open your business, that you're never going to, invest in that dating app, whatever it is, it's what are you making room for in your life this week? And where are you, either sacrificing or pushing something off to the side for a bit? It doesn't have to be forever. I think refocusing your priorities, making time for the thing that you don't usually make time for. What do you dream about? It's time to start putting those dreams into manifestation and building blocks towards them, you know? You don't need to be unrealistic and overwhelm yourself. Again, I'm always getting shadow side Jupiter energy this week of too big or too much, and then it's like you crumble before you start. But rather than just dreaming about it, can we actually put some footing down? Can we actually ground this idea and manifest it, even if it's just, you know, a little piece at a time? A little pieces at a time is huge. That will add up. That will be great. You have to drive forward. You have to drive forward. How do you kick it into high gear? How do you, I'm hearing the word like ignition. How do you change gears to speed ahead in that area of your life where you really do need to catch up, or you really do need to pull ahead? And education and knowledge, researching is very big for you right now too. All right, let's get a card for you. Sorry. Pisces. Emotions. You guys are like, really? Really? You're going to hit me with that stereotype? Yup, I'm going to do it, Pisces, because you need to hear this. What do you need to hear? Let's find out together. Emotions. You're evolving and progressing, so it's natural for you to have a different perspective now than you did before. You drew this card because your feelings are speaking to you, and it's important for you to listen. Ignored emotions only grow stronger and louder. You're already aware of all of this, right? Hangman mode. There's something in your life that is becoming intolerable to you. You once were able to endure it or even enjoy the situation, but because you have changed, so too have your emotions. This card asks you to be honest with yourself and take an inventory of how you're feeling. You don't have to resort to drastic action to resolve anything. Sometimes it's enough to just acknowledge your feelings so that your heart feels heard and understood. Additional meanings for this card: getting guidance from a therapist or joining a support group, dealing with an emotional loved one, empathetically absorbing other people's emotions. All right, Pisces, I'm going to leave you with that food for thought. Please like the video, guys. Let me know in the comments below if any of this resonated for you, and I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye, guys.